Hey, this is WhyBeAre with BeamNG.drive, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mod called the Gavril Vendetta. As you can see, we have a lot of vehicle options available. We're going to be starting off with the Road Sport 423 manual because it's a good performing version and it has the best looks as far as I'm concerned. So this is the pre-facelift version. That means there's a facelifted version that's a little bit newer, but I like the way the older one looks because the older one has pop-up lights. So they go up and then they go down, and then they go up and then they go down. And how can you not like pop-up lights? I mean, I have always been a huge fan of them, and I say it all the time. Pop-up lights are awesome, and I wish they could make a comeback, but they're highly impractical, even though they look awesome because they add extra weight to the vehicle, and they murder pedestrians, which is a pretty big issue. Well, we're on the topic of lights. I should mention all the lights on this vehicle do work as you'd expect. So you got reverse lights right there, and then you saw the brake lights right there. And when you put the headlights on, you get some running lights in the rear, and if you look closely, you have lights on the inside as well, but we're going to be taking a closer look at the interior later on. Now, my focus is to find something to crash this thing into. I want to be going about highway speeds, and well, we are at highway speeds already, so how about we just hit the rock right there? Why not? All right, well, basically, the front fell off. The whole front of the car just kind of got popped off from that rock right there. Can't see too much, unfortunately, so I'll reset this. And we'll try to do a crash where the vehicle stays on its wheels the whole time, and we're going to make it nice and easy right there, right now. There's the crash, and that was actually at about 40 miles per hour, which is a little bit faster than I expected. So let's take a look at the damage here. The front kind of just vanished a little bit, which is a little strange. The left fender looks pretty good, though, and the right fender looks pretty good as well. Hood also looks good. It's jiggling a little bit, but I think it's just because it's on the engine, which is also jiggling, so it's not a big concern here. So let's go ahead and go for round two. We got a big old piece of concrete right here. Smack into that at about 40 miles per hour again. And looks like pretty much the same conclusion as last time. A little bit of the front vanished, but the fenders look decent, and so does the hood, which is still jiggling. Although it's worth mentioning, this vehicle will always be able to put down power because the breakable driveline is not implemented in this vehicle. And I can demonstrate that in a second, but we're going to go for one more round if I can get this thing to steer to the left enough. Come on, you ready? Go, 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 go. That one was only about 30 miles per hour, but we did lose a piece of the exhaust. It does have some awesome side exhaust, but it's kind of hard to see since it's so beat up. Now, what I was saying about the engine, we can actually go ahead and basically completely remove the engine from the engine bay, and it'll still be able to put down power. So I'm going to try to do just that by yanking the car all over the place right here. There we go. You can see the engine's basically pointed the wrong way now. Like the way an engine works. Okay, usually the power goes through the transmission, which goes through the driveline, which goes to the rear wheels. A little bit of a simplification. But you can see there's no way it could possibly do that, and it still puts down power. But thankfully, that is something that could be added in an update, and it sounds like it is something that is planned for the update, so that probably won't always be true. I'm just mentioning that right now, so if you see a crash and you're wondering how in the world is the vehicle still driving, it's just not implemented yet. It's not a bad implementation, it's just not there yet. Anyways, bring this thing back up here, and we can drive it around a little bit more. I think we've done enough crashing for the moment where we could actually drive it a bit. And the version I'm driving right now is basically the fastest stock version from the factory available at the time period. There are faster versions available, but they are not what I would call stock production vehicles like this one. So I'm thinking we might be able to get this thing up to about 100 miles per hour before we get to the end of this road and we have to slow down. It's gonna be real close right here, 90, and I gotta slow down now. We got up to 95, 96, pretty close to 100. If I exited that first corner a little bit faster, we probably could have reached 100. We're definitely gonna reach over 100 right here. And the version I'm driving right now does have the 423 cubic inch engine, which you would think makes a lot of power, but it really doesn't make that much power. It only makes 260 horsepower from an engine that big. And apparently coolant is overheating? Well, that's kind of unexpected. Okay, if it's overheating, we better get rid of it. Off into the cliff you go. 100 plus miles per hour on that impact. That thing is going to get destroyed up. Actually, it held up pretty well. I could still easily identify most of the parts on this thing. I'm just going to get it off of the tree a little bit. Pretty good. Can we back it up some? No, we could get a good look at it anyway. So looking at this side right here, it's looking pretty good. We have a lot of damage, yes, but that was 100 plus mile per hour impact right there, so that's to be expected. There is a little bit of disappearance on the trunk though. And on this side, not much damage, so we'll go ahead and reset it. Now, why don't we take the slowest version of the vehicle for a little bit of a drive? Because you see a car like this, you think, how slow can it possibly be? Well, I'm going to show you. We're going to get the base 291 automatic version pre-facelift. Because the facelift ones, they're actually a little bit more powerful. They have like 10 horsepower more because they're tuned to rev a little bit lower. Like for some reason, this one revs up to 7,000 RPM, but the power kind of drops off at about 5,000 RPM. So with the automatic transmission, it ends up shifting at 5,000 even if you're flooring it. Watch this, okay? So we're coming out of the corner. Actually, we'll come to a stop even. And we're going to floor it. And we're going to keep flooring it. So there's no reason for this automatic to shift until we're out of the power range. And there you go. It shifts before 5,000 RPM just because it's all dead power after 5,000 RPM. There's no reason for you to rev it that high. Thankfully, the engineers realized this as well, though, so they made it a little bit more efficient for the later years. Then you don't get the pop-up lights. 10 horsepower, pop-up lights. 10 horsepower, pop-up lights. Me being me, I'm going with the pop-up lights every time. I don't think I can really feel the difference between 10 horsepower. So even though this one has such a significantly smaller engine, though, it still has 220 horsepower, which isn't a lot considering modern-day cars. You have economy cars that usually make about that much. At least in America, they do. I know in other countries, they got all these little 3-cylinder nonsenses. But like in America, the basic Camry, I think, has over 200 horsepower now. It's like really close to 200, if not over 200. So you really can't compare the engines in a Toyota Camry to the engines in old muscle cars like this one. And I'm calling it a muscle car because it doesn't handle that well. It was going through the corners, sure. It was doing better than a Barstow, sure, but it wasn't great. What it is great at is crashing, hopefully. Let's see how this crash goes. This rock might work as a ramp, actually, isn't it? Yeah. It's going to pop us up into the air. We're just going to go flying for a little bit right here. This is going to be a little bit of a fun excursion we're going to have. I thought we would just crash into the rock. I didn't realize we had the ground clearance. Oh no. The rear of the car is actually getting caught on the rock right there. That's going to make it where we definitely do not fly. And it actually looks like it got caught on the fuel tank. So now we just have a ball of fire behind us. And kind of interestingly, the front of the car isn't that badly damaged. Yeah, the parts fell off and the wheels a little beat up, but the doors and stuff look fine. All right, let's go ahead and try to tackle all of the different versions. As I mentioned earlier, we have the facelift versus the pre-facelift, but I haven't shown you the visual differences. So in addition to the engine changes, you can see the ugly lights and then a slightly different front bumper here. And this one had a front bumper with a hole in it. This one just doesn't have a hole. Next, we have 3 trim versions. We have the base, which we already have up. Then we have the Lux, so we're going to spawn up a Lux. And then we have one more, which is called the Road Sport. So we're going to spawn that one up as well. And I'm not looking if it's facelift or pre-facelift and what engine it has. I just want to get one of each right now. So with the Lux, you get the Landau roof, which means it's metal, but it has some texture over it to make it look like it's a cloth. Then we also have the trunk rack right here. And then if you go all the way up to the Road Sport version, you get some improved brakes, a better looking set of wheels on it, because those ones kind of look ugly with these center hubcaps that could pop off at any time. This one doesn't have any sort of center hubcaps that could pop off. You see, yank at this, they stay still. And then most interestingly, it has the side exit exhaust, which looks so cool. That really is the reason for me to get the Road Sport version. Now we also have 3 engines for each stock version. We have the 291, which is the one we've been driving mostly. We have the 353, which is the medium engine one. Then we have the 423, which is the biggest engine one. And then basically all of these parts can combine in numerous ways. There are a couple of combinations that are impossible, but for the most part, you can get whatever you desire. And there's one more version that's kind of stock, but not really. It's called the Corporate Office Special. So it's an under-the-table way of bypassing corporate rules on max engine power. Just go down to Gapester's gravel motor dealership and ask for performance. So this one's technically a stock vehicle, but it's a lot powerful than the other ones. The biggest one over there has 260 horsepower. This one has 350. So let's go ahead and try this out by telling the AI to go ahead and try to get away from me. And then I'll just chase all of y'all down as you all drive in sync, basically. That looked kind of funny. So which one of these guys do I want to chase down? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Whichever one's the leader. So red will be the one that I follow. Actually, let's just follow them all, unless they split up in different directions. Whichever way gets 2 cars, at least I'll go that way. So there's 2 cars going to the left, so I'll go this way. And they're going to wreck each other, aren't they? It's kind of funny just watching them. But look, here's the power. Right there, you can see how easily I'm overtaking them. I'm letting up on the gas though because I don't actually want to overtake them. I want to follow them. If I get in front of them, they'll do some dumb things like do a 180 and then I can't follow them as easily. So yeah, all this extra power does make it pretty easy to do whatever you want to do. The one thing I am kind of sad about though is this one does not get the side exit exhaust. It also doesn't have the Landau roof or the trunk rack, but neither of those I really care about. The side exit exhaust, even though it burns your shins every time you get in and out of the car, it does look cool. All right, let's go ahead and try to make a little bit of a pileup right here. I want to take them both out in one hit. Can we do it? Hey, it actually worked, I think. Look at that. That worked beautifully. I tell the AI to slow down for a second, and we can take a look at all the damages here. So that blue car lost his front. How's this guy doing upside down? Not much damage. He's just upside down. My car kind of got its wheel messed up, but damage for every vehicle. Good. So we'll go ahead and reset mine, reset theirs, reset theirs, reset theirs. And, well, this is actually too many cars now that I think about it, so Let's spawn up another one because that's surely the solution to do. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the off-road one. So it says, you're not going to be climbing over rocks, but it certainly will get you from point A to point Z over most road surfaces. So we're going to replace the one I was just driving with this one. We'll try to do a little bit of off-roading with this thing. Well, actually, we'll take a look at it first. So this one does have the side exit exhaust, and it has a nice lift to it. Quite a few inches over stock, and it also looks absolutely filthy. All right, here we go. A little bit of a jump right there, and there goes the wheel. That just hit really unfortunately. I don't know if you're paying attention there, but literally one wheel just smashed in the rock and it got obliterated. It's actually pretty durable for most things. Like, we can go like that most of the time and be okay as long as you don't flood the engine. We can go through that without flooding the engine, by the way, if I was more careful, but I wasn't because I thought the water wasn't that deep. What we do is we floor it, and then we just let it rev down, and then we floor it again, see? I just thought it was shallow enough where we'd actually be able to go through it without water getting into the engine, period. Anyways, more off-roading, let's go. It can easily do right here where you have the dirt road. You can do that in the other ones too, but what I want to do is something like this where you have a hill and we want to climb that hill, and then it does it greatly. That was very, very good. Like, as long as you're not hitting rocks, you're going to be pretty well off, it looks like. Just avoid rocks at all costs and you can go over most terrains. Like right here, this is like pretty bumpy terrain. There's no way the normal versions will be able to do this, but this one's cruising through it pretty easily at 60, 70 miles per hour, it looks like. So I am very pleased with how this thing is handling the off-road terrain. There's a rock. There's another rock. Woo! Trick shots. Come on, land upright. Got it, got it, got it. We're good to go. Let's see, how damaged is this thing? Oh, we actually hit the suspension hard. I thought we were just losing a couple of body panels, but we hit the suspension. How's drivability now? It is unfortunately pretty poor. But at least the way the damage is looking right there looks alright. Although the body panels are stuck to the car kind of oddly. Otherwise, it looks like they got damaged okay. I'm curious, can we still activate the lights? Yeah. Maybe that's why they're being held on. You got the wire to the lights just holding them on so you can open and close the lights like that all the time. Alright, we'll go ahead and freshen this up and do a little bit more driving because I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Again, avoid the rocks, WhyBeAre. You do not want to touch the rocks. The bumps are great though. I keep hearing these braking noises though, like something's braking every now and then, but I don't know what it is because this thing seems to still be driving fine. I haven't heard anything recently though, so whatever. Just imagining it maybe. I'll go back this way because I don't think the other direction looks as fun. Nice little hill right here. Get some airtime. Yep. Whoa. Not see that coming, but we're okay. That was not a rock. It was a pile of dirt. That's the difference. Rocks kill you. A pile of dirt's, they'll pop you into the air and you'll be okay. So let's make our way all the way over to the big hill straight ahead of us. And if we can do that, I consider this a success. And I don't see any rocks, so it should be pretty easy to do that. And look, there's bus stops over there. Whoa, I was looking at the bus stops. I'm like, look at those bus stops. And I slammed right into a rock. That was dumb. All right, let's go ahead and go. Whoa, look at that wheel go. Look at that wheel go. He's a break dancer. I don't know what's making it take off so fast. If I hit the brakes, will it stop it? No, the brakes will not. Yes, they will. I guess it's because it got dented in a weird way. It's kind of pushing force to make it rotate. That's weird. Anyways, I was going to go ahead and change maps. We're going to head over to a racetrack, do a little bit of fun driving with a faster version of the vehicle. We're going to be driving the fastest version of the Vendetta here, which is the number 7 race car. So it says an overpowered race car. Won't be any serious fine-tuned performance car made after 1975 by European or Japanese manufacturers, but she'll make your American friends jealous. And one thing that's important to note is it might not be anything made after 1975, but it wasn't made in 1975. It was made in the 1960s or the 1970s. You can kind of tell this is a later production run because it has the ugly front with the no flip-up lights, which are technically lighter and probably better for a race car, but man, I do like the way the other ones look. We also have a big ol' front splitter on this thing. We have a stripe that goes through the whole length of the vehicle. We also have a nice side exit exhaust system on this one. I really like how the stripe goes on that hood. It looks real good, and you can actually peek in your engine right there from the inside. So here's actually your first look at the inside as far as I remember. Got steering wheel functionality, pedal functionality, gauge functionality, and we have the lights that go on, which I mentioned a little bit earlier. So let's go on the outside of this thing and actually try to race this thing around. Now, this thing has 800 horsepower, not a lot of grip. Very, very easy to spin this thing out. So when they said overpowered, yeah, they actually meant overpowered. It has too much power probably for its own good. And it is a very twitchy setup. So it's super easy to accidentally do something a little too fast and spin out. So you gotta be careful with this thing. As you see me doing just that right here, because I'm not even going that fast most of the time. Because I don't trust this thing. I'm sure it's great if you're a good driver. I'm just average though, so it's not so great for me. I need to get on the main road. I should have took a corner earlier that did that, but I was like, nah, let's stay on this road. It's like, no, I shouldn't have. This road's more tighter and it's less forgiving. I want forgiving for the way this thing drives. All right, you know what? There we go. There we go. Main road, main road, main road. No, wait, not really. I saw a widening road and I thought it'd be the main road. Well, either way, you get to see a little bit of performance for just driving around right here. Here's flooring it for a bit. You can see we're already up to 100 plus miles per hour, 120, 100, and flying into some trees. Go ahead and try to see what's happening here through the trees. A little bit hard, unfortunately. We can see the damage right there. Kind of hard to tell what's going on. The engine basically fell out. The front got mangled up. Hood looks okay. Body of the vehicle has a little bit of a hole in the rear. But the parts that didn't disappear look okay. So we'll reset this and try to go on the track this time. And look how easy it is to execute this plan. Done. So let's go ahead and try to actually drive this thing fast for a little bit. I know it's not going to go well, but I'm going to try my best. Wow. Yeah, I almost spun out right there. All right, we got to straight away floor it. Floor it. We're going to try to do like a side impact at this wall at really high speed. So kind of just like that. Beautiful. All right, both the wheels fell off. And let's see, how's the front fender looking? Has some pieces disappearing. Hood is basically undamaged. Body of the vehicle, well, the window kind of popped awkwardly out, but the rest of the vehicle looks okay. Again, a lot of pieces disappearing though, so it's kind of hard to judge things. Parts over here that didn't disappear, looks all right, although the bumper on the rear kind of went to who knows where. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. It might be okay. It's just hard to tell. And interesting, the body actually shifted off of the fenders a little bit, it looks like, because you can see the wheels sticking out a little bit more than it does when it's regular. Like right there, you see nice and perfectly aligned. The other one was sticking out a little bit. So I just shifted the vehicle a little bit from doing that. All right, let's go left this time. Try to be careful, careful, careful with the throttle. You know what? No, careful with the throttle. Let's just slide, and if we spin out, we spin out. Okay, yeah, we're gonna spin out. We're gonna spin out. Or not. Wait, go. I need to go inside more. Yes. Yes. That worked. I knew I wasn't gonna make the corner. So I just tapped the rear end, and it actually saved me. I thought I was gonna spin out too, though. That was amazing luck. So damage on the rear looks pretty reasonable there. We did lose the lights on the right side. The left side looks like it's in perfect condition. All according to plan. All right, whoa, 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 whoa. Stop sliding all over the place, you. All right, we're gonna just drift this corner. Here we go. This is not the drift version. This is the race version. It doesn't want to drift. Oh, there goes the front a little bit. A little damage on it. It's fine though. Should be able to keep going. Oh yeah, it does have a roll cage on this version too, so that reinforces it. So if we do an impact like that, the inside is a little bit more reinforced. And you can see the roll cage if you hop in here. It just blends in really nicely with the vehicle, so it's not super visible from the outside. So if you look at it from the outside like this, you really can't tell that it has a roll cage that easily. The only way you can tell is if you look and you see the bars on the opposite wall of the vehicle, or opposite door of the vehicle. But something like this, you really don't notice it. Anyways, I think that's gonna do it for the race version. I'm driving this thing, crashing this thing too much. So why don't we go with some of the more odd versions? We have the pizza. And these odd versions are just pretty much normal versions with really weird paint jobs. So this one's like a cheese pizza with pepperoni on it for some reason. I don't exactly understand why, but it is. And this one doesn't have the fancy hood where you can look on the inside though, which makes me kind of sad. So let's just go to the next one then. The next one is called the stripped version. So this one's not super abnormal or anything. It's just a version with less body panels on it. So it has nothing protecting the engine basically, but you can really see the engine there. And it is just a normal gravel engine from the Barstow series that's been swapped into this thing. You can also see this inside really easily. Seats are a little bit plain looking. No sort of support on the sides or anything. No lights on the rear, so you can't tell when you're slowing down. Go ahead and crash this one once and you can see what that looks like when it's basically just the front frame of the vehicle hitting something. Or we fly through the air and who knows what's going to happen here. Okay, it looks like we're going to bounce a few times and land on our roof, unfortunately. So we'll take a look from underground and yeah, I guess that looks okay. It's kind of hard to judge from underground, but I don't care enough to flip it over, so let's reset this. And we'll take a look at the last odd version of the vehicle. This one is called the Snakeskin. Again, it's just a normal version of the vehicle with a crazy paint job. This one I like more than the pizza though, because the pizza's like, well, why is it a pizza? I don't know. This one though, why is it a snake? Because it looks cool. I don't have a good reason for that anyways, but I like the lights, how they have the eyes. That part I just really, really dig. We'll go ahead and drive it a little bit and then crash it. Once again, maybe we'll do the same crash as last time. You get to see what it does without the body panels, and then also with the body panels. And okay, well, we didn't actually do nearly the same crash. We just kind of hit the side right there and ruined the front of the vehicle up a little bit. The wheel fell off, basically. So we'll go ahead and end our time at Hirochi Raceway, and we're going to head over to Brutal Slope. And we'll try to use the fastest version here. I don't think it's going to go too well, and I'll probably end up spinning out, but we're going to at least give it a shot. So we'll back this up for a bit, and then we'll spawn up the number 7 race car. Should be about right there. Look close enough to me. The truck was going faster than I thought it was. And then forward. Got to be careful, careful, careful until we can get up to speed so we don't have to worry about losing traction as easily. All right, and flooring it. Whoa, 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 not yet, not yet. More power, but not flooring it yet. Here we go. All right, now we can floor it. 6th gear, still accelerating. Has long gearing on this car right here. And up, we lost control. All right, we're gonna hit this thing maybe sideways. Sure, I don't know. We're gonna hit it at a weird angle. We'll see what it does to the vehicle. It's gonna look like a blob no matter what, it seems like anyways. So, 3, 2, 1, impact. And there goes the vehicle. Even with a roll cage, it has become pretty flat. Well, actually, the roll cage did definitely help. If we did something similar without a roll cage, this thing would be in a lot worse condition. So maybe what we should do is go ahead and do an attempt without a roll cage. So I'll bring this thing back up to the top, and we'll grab one with no roll cage. So I'll just go with this one. I don't know which one that was. I just clicked right about in a random location in the screen. It looks like it's a Lux, and I don't know what engine it has. I really was not looking. Hopefully it has a big engine and a big transmission. It has a manual transmission, so I think maybe the manual's geared for a little bit longer than the automatic, which is nice. Nope, it only has 4 gears. All right, just coast it all the way down then. I'm gonna try to do a similar impact where we slide into the wall. Don't know if we'll be going quite as fast, unfortunately, but we should at least have a similar comparison point. Nice thing is I'm actually keeping control over this one. There go the hubcaps. Just flying all over the place. All right, that looks actually really similar in terms of style of crash, hitting the side at a little bit of an angle. And you can see right there just how much more the vehicle crunched in. Like before, we still had a pretty good shape of the vehicle's whole width. This time we have about half the width of the vehicle. Take a look at that. And now we'll go ahead and finish things up at Leap of Death. Might as well use the fastest version here because it does have the roll cage on this. I like vehicles that are a little bit reinforced because you get more gradual damage. The ones that don't have the reinforcements, they just get wrecked on the first crash 90% of the time. And they look like a blob from there on out. So here we go. Gonna go about 60 miles per hour off the jump. I don't quite trust the speedometer on that because it was spinning the wheels some, but 60 feels like it was a pretty accurate guess. And we'll do this at full speed, and this is gonna pretty much, oh, it's not gonna ruin the roll cage. I thought I was gonna hit the cabin, but it kind of just did a front slide, and it's going a long way down. This is a really interesting crash right here. Oh, there's the damage. Okay. Well, since this thing came out so undamaged, maybe we will do one more run without a roll cage here. So we'll bring it back up. I'm just going to go ahead and quickly remove the roll cage from the vehicle once the parts come up. So we'll go to body, and then it should be under here somewhere. Roll cage. Goodbye. It's kind of interesting. You never see vehicles with different types of roll cages. It's always just it either has a roll cage or it doesn't. You know, for example, some cars, you'll have the ability to just add a roll bar to it, and that's it. Nah, never seen that in this game. It's just cage, no cage. Anyways, here we go. We're flying. Definitely going slower than last time, that's for sure. And doesn't look like we're going to have the nice crash this last time. We're going to have an obliteration crash. That makes it kind of a, yeah, not really identifiable too much there. I mean, you can still tell because there's 4 wheels attached, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of car that was initially. And we're just a ball of fire that can still rev the engine up. That's funny. Like, the engine stalled out, and it's like, nah, I can still rev up. It's all good. Yeah, I can still rev. Because no matter what, this car will always rev. I'm like, yep, still revving. The engine's basically completely out of the vehicle, still revving. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. Till next time, this has been WhyBeAre. I'll see ya.